across the land, searching far and wide. Each Pokemon to understand the power that's inside. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em. It's you and me. I know it's my destiny. Oh, you're my best friend. In the world we must be fair. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em. A heart so true. Our courage will pull us through. You teach me and I'll teach you. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em. Oh, gotta catch 'em. Oh, yeah.
Where's John?
Who?
John. The third one.
John. Seems like he is missing today, so it'll just be me and the tea guy. Me being the tea man.
No, John's the tea guy. I'm the tea fellow.
Too many tea people. It's hard to keep track.
That's why we have names.
Nah. So, tea fellow.
Yes?
Hi.
That is me, yes.
You wanted to be the tea fellow, and yet...
I want to be Nick.
Nah.
Alright, what's up?
So, what do we have in store today?
We have tea, first of all, as usual.
Mm-hmm.
I already forgot what it is because it's herbal, so I deleted it from my RAM.
It is Jigglypuff's song.
Yes.
The relaxing sleepy tea. Which I could use some relaxation. Man, lots of things to do with the new storefront. Lots of crazy things going on.
Such as?
Things I can't talk about.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up then.
You're welcome. I just wanted to mention, in general.
In general, your life is in chaos.
Mm-hmm.
So,
fun fact.
Enjoy that state.
Well, I'm kind of trapped in it. I don't think there is such a thing as stability when it comes in business. It's a matter of controlling the chaos so it doesn't consume you.
At a certain point, the stability turns into a different kind of... Or when you reach a point of stability, new chaos comes in and decides to wreck that for you.
Mm-hmm. So
what's your fun fact?
What's a fun fact?
You said you're starting to say a fun fact.
Oh, yeah. Fun fact, if you ever start a business, you might have an idea of how things might go, then you might have an idea of when things go at their worst. Take the idea of things going at their worst as the baseline, and then come up with the worst following that. That about sums up my, I guess now 2.5 years of planning and doing.
Optimism through negativity. I told you.
So we have a lot of different news stories to cover today. We're gonna have to be a little bit picky and choosy with this one.
Fortunately, they're all kind of minor news stories. And also, we're gonna kind of do a seasonal thing, so to speak, and look through the new upcoming anime and do a segment that I would like to call 90% of any given thing is trash.
And this very much applies to this, though I only took a quick glance, but so far it looks to be more around 100%.
Ouch.
Yeah.
To be fair, a lot of the times, like, the descriptions for things are also 100% trash. Like, when I read the description for My Hero Academia, it was like, this is the guy and he's got the thing, and it was only a thing because he did a thing. And I'm just like, next.
Yeah.
And I completely blew it off because it had a really terrible description.
Yeah. Well, it's never as bad as Ace in descriptions. They all follow the same exact archetype. Blah, blah, blah is your average blah, blah, blah.
Well, that's
then one day...
That's understood... Wait, ASEN archetypes, you said?
Yeah, when you read the descriptions for panels.
Yeah, for panels. That's understandable because people are like, okay, well, what am I supposed to write? I'll just look at somebody else's. I mean, that makes sense. At least.
At this point...
There's no professional panel description writers, right?
No, but when every single one of them has, and then one day... Oh, boy.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Also, this isn't news for now, but like a few months ago, there's this novel writing competition in Japan, and they had to just do a blanket ban on one day somebody got transported into a fantasy world, and because that's been done so much that it must have been all that they got for like an entire year.
I want to make a story, but I don't know how to transition. I know, teleportation.
Because reasons. Shut up. There doesn't even have to be an explanation anymore. It's not like he tripped on, a pothole and fell in the sewer or something. It's just like, I blinked and then I was there. Anyway. So, yeah, a lot of quick, interesting news articles. Makoto Shinkai's Your Name, who I love and what I love, that's getting a live-action Hollywood adaptation, which is kind of weird because J.J. Abrams is producing it, and some guy who I've never heard of is doing the script. He wrote Final Destination 5.
The game or the movie?
I'm assuming the movie.
Oh boy. How many Final
Enough. It passed enough a while ago. Anyway, so unlike most anime adaptation Hollywood versions, they're actually sticking with the plot of schoolboy girl living in Tokyo does a thing, which is kind of really weird in this situation because there is actually... Okay, so the basic plot of Your Name is this. There's a guy living in Tokyo, and he hates how boring it is, and he wishes that he could, just go live in rural area.
And then one day, he gets teleported to...
And then, at the same time, there's a girl living out in the sticks, tending the Shinto shrine, because that's what she's been doing that's what their family's been doing for 1,000 years. And then one day, they switch bodies, and they think they're just dreaming, and they don't remember any of it, but it's actually happening, and so on. And then some important stuff happens.
So a teenage boy and girl switch bodies. I think I've seen a movie like this before.
What movie is that?
So, what else is there about this story?
Well, there's a huge, massive plot twist, but I didn't see it coming, so I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yay!
I was just like, whoa, that was out of nowhere. Even though there was some foreshadowing. But, yeah, it's really good, and it's beautiful, so I hope that the live action lives up to the artistic integrity.
Which they always do.
With J.J. Abrams behind it, I mean, he could do some pretty good visual stuff. But it's kind of weird that they're sticking with the plot where they're in Japan, because if there was any plot where they could just transplant the characters into, he lives in L.A., that would make sense. For the most part, like, you could, change it around a little bit, but it's interesting that they're going in that direction. I guess with all the talk of whitewashing and stuff, they're playing it safe, maybe, but...
Then after what Death Note became, I almost have, like, an adverse reaction to someone pulling that.
You mean how they literally did everything the opposite, and it was a terrible movie?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Just clarifying.
And making them, light Turner instead of... Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they're gonna set it in wherever it was set, I'm assuming it was America, then...
Mm-hmm.
Why would he be Japanese?
But that's what I mean. They set it in America, and it just feels like, okay, they're gonna Americanize this.
Having his name light is cultural appropriation. Anyway, next article. So, ATLUS, the people who made Persona 5, they basically took down a PS3 emulator, or people who were working on a PS3 emulator. I don't think it was complete because that would be crazy. Of all the consoles to emulate, they might as well just start over on PS4 because emulating a PS3 is insane. Like, it took like 10 years for people to optimize programming games on it. I don't see how they could get an emulator for it, but if they could, that's impressive. But yeah, so because they mentioned in the description of the emulator, oh, you could play Persona 5 on this. It's unless you have a PS3 or a PS4, this is a way to do it. So they said no, and they took that down. They've actually been pretty harsh on Persona 5 content. They don't want people streaming past a certain date. They don't want when you have your PS4, there's a share button, so you can put it onto social media. That is completely disabled. And whenever you get a trophy, it automatically takes a screenshot. So the trophy pops up, and then right after that, it's like, you can't take a screenshot of your trophy. Yeah. So they posted the takedown notice, and then they're like, no, but damage control happens, so here's our statement. So what they said is, we believe that our fans best experience our titles like Persona 5 on the actual platforms for which they're developed. We don't want their first experience to be frame rate drops or crashes or other issues that can crop up in emulation we have not personally overseen. We understand that many Persona fans would love to see a PC version, which will totally happen, right? Mm-hmm. And while we don't have anything to announce today, because it will never happen, we are listening. Yeah, they know that there's all kinds of demand for non-PlayStation Persona games. They're just not going to do it. For now, the best way to experience Persona 5 is on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 3. We appreciate the awareness generated by the emulation community for Persona 5 and know that it is a fantastic example of how much people are loving our game, so much that we want to take it down. We want to keep bringing you titles like Persona 5. Unfortunately, when our content is illegally circumvented and potentially made available for free at a format we do not think delivers the experience and quality we intend, it undermines our ability to do so by diverging potential support from new audiences. And that's what it's really about.
This is PS3. Where does this game fall in a timeline? Is this like a 5-year-old game, or what?
It came out this year.
Oh, this year?
Like March? Or was it January? I don't know.
It's pretty new then.
February.
Why not just issue a request to just take down that game instead of the entire process of emulation?
Well, they first... let's see. They first took down the emulator page and attacked their Patreon, and then the people took out all references to Persona 5, and then they're like, well, oh, okay. Because Patreon was like, this has nothing to do with Persona 5 other than the fact that it's mentioned in the description. So, good on you, Patreon. More bad on you, ATLUS, in your non-game department. What else do we got? So Kemono Friends is a moe anime thing that neither of us have heard of until recently.
Which I'm describing as the Japanese My Little Pony.
Okay. So, yeah, I read some reviews before this, and apparently it's got good writing and world building and stuff. Until recently, when the director was just randomly fired, which caused a huge explosion on Twitter, and everybody's like protesting it and stuff, and sending out petitions which have 30,000 signatures and stuff. So I don't know anything about that. Neither of us care about it, but it's interesting. I guess it must be good if there's that many people that actually care to get the director back on board. I don't know. Certain Magical Index Season 3 is coming. That's all we know, because they listed it and then immediately took it down. Oh, I got confused because it said Season 2 or Season 3 coming in 2010, but no, that was Season 2. That's a
long gap between seasons. What the hell?
Season 1 was 2008, Season 2 is 2010. Season 3 has been greenlit. About a decade later after Season 1, what kind of story will turn out?
Why? Why was the
I don't know.
gap?
I don't know.
Is this a manga or is this an anime-only story?
I'm sure there's a manga.
Which came first, the manga or the anime?
It's light novels. Which explains it, because they never go anywhere with the anime and that, so I'm actually surprised that they made a second season. They also, it's related to a certain scientific railgun, if you've heard of that.
Nope.
Okay. Well, you might like Index, but I don't think you'd like Railgun.
Maybe I'll see.
Give it a shot. And My Hero Academia, which you know way more about than I, because I haven't read the manga.
Manga.
Uh-huh. See what I mean?
Yep.
They say they have enough. Okay, so the season's ending Saturday, right?
Yep, this Saturday.
And that's it. They're not gonna keep going on to next season. But they do say there will be more, and they have enough manga content for Season 3, 4, and beyond.
Which I do not see whatsoever. I can see Season 3, maybe Season 4, but beyond, they're kidding. There's no way. They would have to put DBZ to shame if they were going to extend it to...
You mean Naruto?
They would have to... Yes, Naruto's the new DBZ. They would have to put it to shame if they were gonna extend it to that length. Which, for a show like this, I would not be opposed to filler, and they have more than enough content to make good filler.
Yeah, there's like spin-offs and stuff. God bless you.
I have the best sneezes.
Yeah, certainly the most enthusiastic. So it says the first season ended at Volume 3, Chapter 21. Doesn't have where the second season's gonna end, but if 12 episodes was 3 volumes, I'm gonna say that the second season was 6 volumes. There's 15 volumes out, so that's not unreasonable. I mean, unless it gets really action-packed and dense.
Don't forget, the first season only had 12 episodes.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
So first season 3 volumes, second season 6 volumes.
Mm-hmm.
Which would bring it up to 9.
So if they were to do... So let's say they do...
So that would be enough for a season 3, if it's at 15 volumes now.
So if they're doing, 6 volumes in a 26-episode season, then for 2 more seasons, they would need at least 12 more volumes.
Yeah.
Which, they only have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. They only have 6 volumes.
Unless they're really dialogue dense, which I can't see.
There's one chapter, which I guess I can see them extending it to a full thing, which all they're doing in this one chapter is going through all the characters' rooms.
What?
Just, see how they shape the rooms, how it, fits their personas and whatnot. Which I suppose I can see them extending that to an entire episode.
With the amount of characters, I can see them doing, 3 episodes if they really want to claim that they have another 2 seasons worth. Unless they're counting season 3 and 4 as 12 episodes, which I doubt.
Yeah, at this point,
at this point, it's in there. It's in the Shonen Jump zone.
Mm-hmm.
Is it in Shonen Jump?
I actually don't think it is.
I don't see.
But
who cares?
I'm going through my head and all the things that are in the manga but not the anime so far. It's kind of hard to remember all of them, but purely from my memory, I can remember about another season's worth. I'm assuming I'm forgetting at least half, so that'll be another season. So for 3 seasons, even including the fact that it'll keep making stuff. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Moving on from that.
And it is in Shonen Jump, by the way.
Oh, okay.
New trailer for Red Dead Redemption 2. Check it out. At the moment, they're saying it's PS4 exclusive. I can't see this not at least coming to Xbox.
Because why would they want money?
The Xbox One I'm talking about, not the Xbox.
It's like
it's also going to be available for Xbox One Extreme X.
I just like imagine this one poor kid listening to us who just got his Xbox like last year.
Oh no!
It's like, oh, I can finally play something with my friends. Oh, I'm poor too.
I didn't get a Super Nintendo until GameCube things were out. I had to get my Super Nintendo games from the Toys R Us, like, you know how at they probably have it at a Best Buy too, but at Walmart they have like these just like in the middle of the aisle of the electronics department. It's just like a stack of like all the movies that nobody wants.
Uh-huh.
Like from there, that's where I got it. That's where I got Mega Man X, the thing nobody ever wants, and Mario Kart and stuff like that. The games no one wants. Go and sell them at places for like $50. Anyway, yeah. It's kind of interesting because in the first Red Dead Redemption, you play a kind of like honorable guy who has like a dark past, and he needs to be redeemed. Redemption, right?
I get it.
And in this, it looks more like you're just a bad guy. It looks like you're a Grand Theft Auto character.
Grand Theft Auto, Wild Wild West.
Yeah, that's like what everyone called this, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And now it looks like that's what they made it.
Oh, they need to find something else. The game was supposed to be something else.
You know, they did have a couple other games, but it wasn't GTA, so nobody bought it. Like, they had LA Noire, which... Why do people have to ruin things?
Wasn't that a good game?
It was a good game, except for when you had to shoot people.
Why? What happened then?
Well, it was supposed to be a game where you wander around and you solve mysteries, and like
Scooby-Doo.
More like a cop.
More like a cop?
You know, like a policeman.
Like the Hardy Boys.
No, they were teenagers, not policemen. I mean, maybe they were policemen when they grew up, but
so
I don't know.
It's more like that book series, like Vampires Don't Drink Pink Lemonade.
What was that?
That
sounds super familiar.
It was a book series of a bunch of stupid kids who keep assuming that the teachers and whatnot are various bad things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But wait a minute. Vampires don't drink pink lemonade. We should investigate, gang. You think after the 12th book they realize they're dumb. Like, well, we have not found any vampires, no werewolves, no Frankensteins. You think maybe we're just paranoid? And this was written before medications went on a crazy spree, so I guess it makes sense. He's writing a book now after book 1. Wow, you guys thought he was a vampire, huh? You need
Here,
a little.
take these.
Yeah, you need a little bit of this magic
No, not
medicine.
take these. I'm gonna up your dosage.
Oh,
Sounds
man.
like I gotta up your dosage. Or lower it, probably. Ugh. Anyway, getting a little too real there. No, it was, you walked around and solved clues and connected the dots and talked to people and interrogated them and stuff.
Like Harriet the Spy?
Anyway, I was always more of a Bunnicula fan myself.
The hell is that?
You never read Bunnicula?
I never even heard of it.
He was like a bunny vampire.
Wait.
He was a rabbit that was a vampire, or something.
Uh-huh.
And
This was from the 90s?
What other decade would it exist in?
Yeah, exactly.
It existed in the same decade as Vampires Don't Drink Pink Lemonade and Goosebumps.
Yes. Back when people were hitting the creativity craze. In the 2000s.
A little too much. Got a little too much creativity in that coffee.
And then the 2000s was the crash. Too much creativity, let's just streamline the shit out of everything. Oh god, you can almost see that in anime, can't you?
Let's make fan fiction the biggest bestseller for adult women. Anyway, L.A. Noire was a good game where you basically went around solving clues, doing mysteries and detective work, and then they're like, "Well, we gotta have the shoot bangs for the this is gonna be on Xbox. Can't have Xbox without shoot bangs," so they added sections where you shoot people, and random street crimes where you could go around and like solve the, shoot the guy for XP and stuff.
You mean like Luigi's Mansion?
And so that shooting thing kind of ruined the whole game, and it wasn't great. But the rest of the game was. It was really well written and directed.
You mean like... I can't think of anything else.
You can't think of anything well directed?
No, I was trying to just think of something that is just vaguely connected, but no. I was just trying to annoy the T-fellow.
Oh, well, you're doing an inadequate job, I suppose.
Yeah.
And then what else did they do?
The
Rockstar,
bully.
I mean.
The bully thing.
Yeah.
Forgot its name.
I never played that. Were you a bully or getting bullied?
You were getting bullied and rising up to bully status. So you were getting bullied and you were basically trying to become the bully.
Okay, so it was like a real life simulator then.
Yeah. Oh.
I remember when they were trying to get that banned because they thought it would create bullies.
I like the way I solved my bully problem in high school.
I guess that makes sense.
The game
How's that?
How was that? I put one of them in the hospital. My bully thing stopped right after that.
Well, I guess that works then.
Yeah, all you teachers were wrong. Violence never solves anything. Bullshit.
Why didn't you talk to them?
Why didn't I talk to them?
Why didn't you call a teacher?
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's cute. I solved my problems the old-fashioned way.
Talking to a teacher just makes it completely worse.
Yeah.
My God, we're stuck in 3rd grade today.
Oh boy.
Hey, which did you like better? Choose Your Own Adventure or the Boxcar Children?
The Boxcar Children?
One of us was clearly more literate than the other.
Hey,
as a 9-year-old.
Hey, when I was in 1st grade, I was reading at a 6th grade level.
Well, I was reading at an adult level.
Well, school kind of killed everything that was inside of me, so I had to rebuild after. So, what else do we have in the good old news?
Well, here's some kind of neutral news that kind of unfolded throughout the whole week, so we never had a chance to talk about it last week. So, we'll give you the whole story. What do you know about the Forthog DLC and Shadow of War?
I have stopped following Shadow of War the past month or so just because I know I'm not going to be able to afford it right now, so I'm trying to not put that pressure on me.
Okay, well, you can play my copy.
Yay!
So, apparently one of the people on the original development team for Shadow of Mordor, yes, that's the one. The names are so similar and they rhyme, I keep mixing them up. Anyway, so he died of cancer during the course of the development of one of the games. And so, in this one, they're like, we're gonna make a giant orc who looks kind of like this guy, and he's gonna come in and save you once in a while, and just be a cool giant orc killing machine. And then, of course, Warner Brothers, the publisher, was like, that sounds like it could be DLC. And so it was. And, to their sort of credit, they were like, well, we're gonna give, half of, what we make off of this $5 DLC, we're gonna donate it to cancer charity or something.
That's something.
Yeah, I mean, you could just donate all of it, maybe donate all of it, and not just keep a little pocket for yourself.
I'm surprised more people
like
don't...
they just did the work for it. It's not like you're losing money.
I'm surprised more people don't do a type of like the first, let's say, $10,000 into this goes to a charity type of thing.
What do you mean?
Like, let's say they made this DLC. The first $10,000 they make from this DLC goes straight to the charity of whatever they choose. And then after that, the money goes to them.
You know...
Because it also kind of sets a goal, almost.
Yeah. Well, if that happened, then, if that's not a bad idea, but then it's like, okay, well, that'll be met first day, and then there's no real point in doing it afterwards. The split price is actually a good way to do it. Like, half of it goes to charity. That would be a really good way of mitigating DLC disasters, like other Shadow of War related things have been. But because this was specifically designed, like they weren't sitting around like, hey, let's make some DLC. What could we do? Let's have our friend in it, and he can come in and kill orcs. Yeah, that sounds good. Hey, maybe we should donate it to charity. And, it didn't evolve like that. They were just like, hey, look, I made the orc that looks like our friend. And it's like, hey, yeah, that's cool. And then Warner Brothers stepped in, and it's like, this is DLC now. And then they're like, I guess somebody somewhere caught on real quick, and it was like, this, flag this put it in the PR disaster folder with the rest. And, yeah. But I see how that could be a thing. Like, the half of it goes to charity and half of it we pocket. Half of it we keep. I'm not a game developer. What am I talking about?
I develop tea. I don't get to keep anything.
Charity.
Ooh. At this point, all charity proceeds goes towards feeding me.
Anyway, yeah, that could be a good plan. The catch is that, okay, so they were saying all proceeds go to, or half of all proceeds go to this charity, except for these certain states where laws are dumb. Hey, guess which state was on there?
Which one?
Illinois. Are you surprised at all?
What exactly is the law?
Just bureaucratic junk.
No, yeah. You know what else is probably on there? Missouri.
I think you're right, actually.
God, you guys suck.
A lot of them were southern states. And Washington. The state, not the district.
Or the person?
Or the person who's been dead for hundreds of years.
Says you.
I'm pretty sure that's accurate. Anyway, outside of the U.S., however, they just pocket it, because screw everybody else. So after that got some flack, because most of the money wasn't going towards the charity, then they were just like, never mind. We're just gonna have the free DLC and encourage you to donate to, a charity of your choice. Here's a link to the family's GoFundMe or something. youcaring.com. Sounds legit. And with that, it's time to look at what's probably a ton of bad anime.
No. We did forget something.
Oh, what did we forget?
We forgot the Dragon Ball FighterZ news.
We did. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I'll leave it to you.
So, over the past week, we had a couple of new things show up. Number one, we got to see a trailer for Tien and Yamcha.
Yamcha.
And, yeah, I'm really hoping they make it into a joke character. Oh, boy. Because he has not been relevant since Dragon Ball.
Like, joke how?
Like, he's the type of character that's really weak and barely does any damage, and just pros choose to show how awesome they are. Like, I can win with Yamcha type of thing. Because, even
like an intentional handicap instead of, like, drain your health bar to handicap.
Yeah. Because, all he was good for in Z was dying. That was his moment. He got blown up by a Cyberman. So to have him as a fighter at this point,
he was even a failure as a jobber.
Yes. Just silly. So we'll see what happens with that. We get to see a little bit of the story mode with the brand new Android 21. And it seems like she might not be the antagonist.
Yeah, I was totally convinced that she was the final boss.
That's what I was thinking too, but I guess maybe not. And I've seen a lot of fan arts involving her. She seems to be the temporary new waifu of DBZ.
Who was the waifu before?
18.
Oh.
But frankly, I don't see this lasting.
I don't either,
it's just
because it's so... There's something kind of generic about her, but like in a way where it's like, let's force everything to be non-generic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, there's a scene in Welcome to the NHK where they're like, okay, I drew this girl, but she looks kind of generic. Okay, well, add glasses. Alright, they're the glasses, but it's still kind of lacking something. Okay, well, what if we put her in a wheelchair? Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Okay, also she's a ghost. What? A ghost? Okay, and also she's got cat ears. And, like, they just keep going and on and on and on. And it's like, eventually, there's just, like, this drooling, crippled, like, facsimile of a shell of a person.
Now that's a snowflake.
Oh, yeah. It's not quite to that level, but it's like, there's just... It looks like they've tried really hard to make her look like a snowflake, and in the end, it's kind of not.
Pretty much covers all that fun stuff. Not too... Oh yeah, battle damage. Looks like they've started to add battle damage to the stuff. Things like armor chipping, clothes ripping, fun things like that.
Yeah. I'm not too surprised about that. That makes sense.
Those little details matter to me.
Oh, also, are you done with Dragon Ball?
Yep.
Also, Valve removed almost 200 games from Steam. I think it was like 170 something. From this one publisher who just put that in quotes. They basically just buy like starter kits from the Unity asset store, make like the most basic game in the world, like Breakout and Bubble Bobble or whatever it's called, and sell slightly different variations of them for like $5. They made 170 whatever of those, and people were buying them. So that's a huge problem on Steam. Like, it's part of why they ended the Greenlight program, which was it used to be a thing that they had where you could if you're an independent game developer, you can go on and submit your game for, a little fee, and then people would, upvote it if they'd be like, if they were interested. And if you got enough votes, then you were in. Then your game would be on Steam.
Then Zoe Quinn ruined everything.
No. For once.
And she kind of brought the whole thing to the forefront. Even Steam got involved with that.
Okay, you'll have to tell me more.
Oh boy, I see what I can remember. So basically she made that pathetically shit game,
Depression
Quest, yeah. And she put on the green light thing. But people saw that and were like, this is a terrible game. I'm not gonna say I like this. And then she was like, but everyone's being mean to me. And so Steam came in and was like, don't worry, we'll save you. Remove the bad stuff, add more good stuff. It is greenlit.
Well,
and everyone's just like, what the fuck?
One of the things about that is that you can't downvote it. You can only say that you're not interested. So it's like you can upvote it, but you can't de-upvote it. It's not like Reddit where there's like an ultimate score.
It was like a demo or something.
There's just the amounts of total upvotes.
But in general, people shat all over it.
People can ignore. You can comment on it and say like, this looks like it's terrible, or whatever.
Yeah, and
but that's
Steam came in and it's like, I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up.
Well, anyway.
Shows what you can do when you fuck fight from guys for reviews. So,
anyway, so Steam starting to help the problem, but not quite there. Going in the right direction.
How is Five Nights at Freddy's still a thing?
I think it's starting to die.
I mean,
with each one, it goes down.
I know, but at the same time, like just the fact
there was one that was so bad that the guy pulled it from Steam.
Mm-hmm. That was ironically the only one that was not the same exact formula.
Yeah.
It was still garbage, but at least it didn't follow the same formula. Like, that's exactly why Steam was taking all these games down, because it was just the same thing, just copy-paste different, fun-looking things. Right. That's Five Nights at Freddy's in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Shame on all
takes a little more work, but yeah, you're right. And Rick and Morty, Season 3, 10 episodes instead of 14, because they want to make quality, not forgettable things. So focusing on all the time on being better, I guess.
Yeah. The last episode was garbage. We'll talk about that in Second Infusion.
Yeah. Anyway, here's the upcoming anime.
You gonna list all of them?
Well, we'll talk about them. Okay, so I've got all this season's anime listed into generic, it's been done before, interesting, and then could be anything. So let's start with the generic things so we can laugh at them. The first is Anime Gataris. It's about an anime club. That's it.
They watch themselves.
Yep. The second one is called Blend S. It's about a girl who goes to a cafe where all the waitresses are given certain attributes, such as tsundere or little sister. The manager asks the main character to be sadistic, so she has to become sadistic.
That one actually sounds like it might be fun. I don't know what they do with it.
It could be terrible, or it could be who knows, but it'll probably be who knows. Let's see. I should have copied this into a different spreadsheet or something. Konohara Kitan. The manga story is set in Konohara, a place A hot spring hotel located in an in-town between our world and the other world, where many people go to visit. The story portrays the lives of fox spirits who take the form of girls and work at the hotel. That's not super cliche or anything like that. Kujira no Kara wa Sajo ni Utao.
Why are all these names so foreign?
Because they haven't been translated on Crunchyroll yet.
Oh.
Chakuro is the 14-year-old archivist of the Mud Whale, a nigh-utopian island that floats across the surface of an endless sea of sand. 9 in 10 of the inhabitants of the Mud Whale have been blessed and cursed with the ability to use Saimia, special powers that doom them to an early death. Chakuro and his friends have stumbled across other islands, but they have never met, seen, or even heard of a human who wasn't from their own. One day, Chakuro visits an island as large as the Mud Whale and meets a girl who will change his destiny. I should have put that in the It's Been Done section.
I mean, at some point, I kind of just tuned the fuck
right?
out.
Yeah, there was so much, like, I don't even know what's going on.
Japan sometimes tries a little bit too hard to be out there, and they just become... I can't even see you guys anymore.
It's a snowflake with 8 sides. Netju no Susume. It's about a neat, a 30-year-old woman with no life. Sengoku Night Blood. This game centers around different warlords from Japan's Warring States period. It calls it a game. Okay. Gotcha.
Can you click on it to get more information?
Not really. But I'm assuming that it's just an anime of a game.
Why the hell do all of the anime who try and take that period decide to add some big, gigantic, over-the-top twist to it? Just do an anime of the freaking event! Shit!
There are a couple, but, there's...
They always involve, like, giant fucking guns and, like, robots and crap.
What's it called? Sengoku Basara, I think, is like a kind of realistic one. Kinda. There's no realistic one. And there's one more on my list of generics. Where is it? Here, Urahara. 3 high school girls are putting together a limited time shop called Park in Japan's Harajuku. One day, aliens come to Earth with the intent to steal the famed district's culture. Sounds great. And in the It's Been Done Before category, Black Clover. Asta is a young boy who dreams of becoming the greatest mage in the kingdom. Only problem, he can't use any magic. I don't think I need to continue.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Netjunus no Susume. I read that one already. I read it in the wrong category. Osama Game, the animation. The story begins when an entire high school class of 32 people receive a message on their cell phones from a person known only as the King. The messages contain certain orders that the students must obey or they risk the punishment of death. It's been done. Now for the interesting things. Dies Irae. May 1st, 1945, Berlin. As the Red Army raises the Soviet flag, a group of Nazi officers conduct a ritual using the slaughter in the city to bring back the LDO, supermen whose coming would bring the world's destruction. Their success remains unknown. Present-day Suwahara City, Ren Fuji spends his days at the hospital due to a violent fight with his best friend Shiro. He tries to value what has been left to him, but he is haunted by Shiro's words. Everyone who remains in this city eventually loses their minds, and a recurring dream of a guillotine, murders, and the black-clad knights pursuing them. What else have we got? Garo, Vanishing Line. I like Garo. Have you ever seen Garo?
No.
It's about cool lion armor and stuff. The anime story is set in a prosperous city named Russell City. Even as the city celebrates its success, a conspiracy that threatens to shake the world has been set in motion. A man named Sword is the first to hear the earliest stirrings of the plot, and throws himself into a shadow war in order to expose it. His only clue is the keyword El Dorado. He meets Sophie, a woman searching for her older brother who left her with only a message with the same word, El Dorado. With Sword having also lost his younger sister in the past, both are drawn together by the word and work together to find out its meaning. Sounds interesting. Inuyashiki. Where are you?
I'm right here.
No, you're not. Ichiro Inuyashiki is down on his luck. While only 58 years old, his geriatric looks often have him written off as a pathetic old man by the world around him, and he's constantly ignored and disrespected by his family despite all that he's done to support them. On top of everything else, his doctor has revealed that he has cancer, and it appears that he has little time left in this world. But just when it seems anything couldn't get worse, a blinding light in the night sky strikes the earth where Ichiro stands. He later wakes up to find himself unscathed, but he soon starts to notice that something seems different about himself. What do you think it is?
He's becoming younger?
Maybe, probably. That's almost definitely it. Mahotsukai no Yome. Chisei Hattori has lived a life full of neglect and abuse, devoid of anything resembling love. Far from the warmth of family, she has had her share of troubles and pitfalls. Just when all hope seems lost, a fateful encounter awaits her. When a man with the head of a beast, wielding strange powers, obtains her through a slave auction, Chisei's life will never be the same again.
Yay!
Yay!
I want to have like nice cheery music like the opening of Working as the intro.
Oh my god. Someone want one? Shoujo Shumatsu Ryoku. Civilization is dead, but Chido and Yuri are still alive, so they hop aboard their beloved Kettenkrad motorbike and aimlessly wander the ruins of the world they once knew. Day after hopeless day, they look for their next meal and fuel for the ride. But even as the two are together, even an existence as bleak as theirs has a ray or two of sunshine in it, whether they're sucking down their fill of soup or hunting for machine parts to tinker with. For two girls in a world full of nothing, the experience and feelings the two share give them something to live for. So, could be good, could be bad. And the one that I was like, I read the description and I was like, this is terrible. In the decades since the world became aware of the existence of magic, the world has undergone massive upheaval. However, a boy named Toda lives in seclusion in a rural town far removed from these changes. His ordinary life is unhinged by his magic-using female teacher and his supportive friends. When his tranquil daily life is disrupted, he embarks on a unique adventure. That sounds like the most generic thing ever, right?
Uh-huh.
That's UQ Holder. It's the sequel to Negima. I love that. Why'd you give it a generic description, Anime News Network? You suck.
They gotta play it safe.
And this is the I don't even know what this is category. Boku no Kanojo ga Majime Sugiro Shoujo Bitch na Ken. That's right. With nothing left to lose, ordinary high school student Haruka Shinozaki confesses to beautiful, diligent class representative Akihiko Kosaka, and to his surprise she accepts. Kosaka takes dating as seriously as she does everything else, but does not quite get it. She pragmatically suggests activities that are too sexual.
That's hot.
I don't know what to think about that. Hoseki no Kuni. In the distant future, a new life form called Hoseki gems are born. The 28 Hoseki must fight against the moon dwellers who want to attack them and turn into decorations. Thus, each gem is assigned a role such as fighter or medic. Though he hopes to fight the moon dwellers, Phos is a gem who gives no assignment until the gem's master Adamantine asks him to edit a natural history magazine.
What?
Yeah, what? Like,
I
that
swear
plot was going in 6 different opposite directions at once.
Anime people are just playing like ad-libs and just basing anime off of that.
Verb, a noun. Edit a history magazine. Okay, Emoto Sai Irabai. The story follows the everyday life of Itsuki, a novelist and modern-day Pygmalion who works day in and day out to create the ultimate younger sister. He's surrounded by various other characters, a beautiful genius writer who loves him, his big sisterly classmate from college, a fellow male writer, a sadistic tax accountant, and his editor. They're all looked after by Itsuki's perfect younger stepbrother, Chihiro, who has a serious secret.
Is it serious?
It's probably that it's a girl.
Oh, babe.
A trap. That's what I'm guessing. And then I think this might be my favorite on the whole season. It's called Two Car. It focuses on two girls involved with competitive motorcycle sidecar racing. How does that even work? Sidecar racing?
Maybe they'll
they just
use
sit
weapons?
there.
I don't know.
They just sit there and let the other people drive them?
Why not? Or
Because that's dumb.
maybe the people in the sidecar can use weapons. That would make it more interesting.
Well, but then they might as well just ride on the back of somebody else. I don't know. Anyway, that's our take on the half of the generic / ambiguous / could be cool, could be not upcoming season of anime.
Another season, another lack of interest. Anime, stop it.
You know, there were some okay ones, and some that were just so weird that it's like, okay, I guess I'll watch that.
Yeah.
Like, for example, remember Shimoneta?
Uh-huh.
Like, the description of that was just like, this girl's a slut, and she tries to slut this guy up.
But Shimoneta?
Yeah.
Wait, what? Am I thinking of the wrong one?
The Change the World with 30 Jokes.
Ah, there we go. Okay.
What did you think I was talking about?
I'm not sure.
Remember that? Yeah. What do you think? What did you think I was talking about? I don't know.
I'm the tea man. I know exactly what I'm doing.
Guys, I've got some business advice for you. Aim low. Expect to fail.
Oh boy. No wonder I'm hungry.
Imagine the worst possible situation, and that's the standard.
Yeah.
What am I thinking about again?
Alright, I think that just about covers it for this. And it's just about time for the second infusion.
Yay.
See you then.
I just finished my tea.
Took you long enough.
And if we won't see you then, you can send us emails anyway at Teacast@thedragonstreasure.com.
Also, buy my tea.
Buy his tea. Buy his tea.
Who's that Pokemon? It's Jigglypuff!
And we're back.
Until we get a theme song, I'm gonna keep BSing this. So, welcome back to the second infusion, where we're yet again drinking Jigglypuff's song. Still smells delicious.
It still smells like an actual Jigglypuff.
That's what... No, this would not be what Jigglypuff smells like. I would put it something more pink and puffy and cottony.
Colors have smells now?
Yeah. What, you know, smelled something like, oh, this smells like it's orange, or this smells blue.
I've smelled oranges before, but not blue.
You haven't smelled blue?
No.
Yeah.
Smelled blueberries.
Well, I mean, tomato. Blueberries.
Tomatoes are red.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Alright. So, we have, I believe, 3 things. We have Super, we have My Hero Academia, and Mr. Rick and Morty. Let's begin with that one. Last episode was awful.
Yeah.
Everything was just forced. It was like people who really liked Rick and Morty wrote a really bad fanfiction.
Yeah, I see what you mean. The only redeeming thing about it was that there was some character development.
Mm-hmm.
And even that was kind of like out of nowhere.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling the whole Beth was a psychopath.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I don't have much else to say. All the jokes were just kind of flat and forced. The whole having sex with the thing to make the thing, that was, again, just... I could have seen it working, but it didn't really feel like it was. It just doesn't feel like much really happened. I didn't laugh. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not one of those things where you think back like several years later and it's like, oh man, remember that one episode?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like most of the rest of the show.
Yeah. That's their version of the Avatar's The Great Divide.
The Great Divide?
Exactly.
Well played.
It was the episode in which everyone, even the creators of the show, acknowledged as the worst Avatar Last Airbender episode, because it didn't do anything right, and it broke character.
What actual episode was it?
It was in the first season. The idea was that Aang and the gang need to go across a chasm, but they had to do it with these two like rival clan gang things. One was full of like nobles, and one was full of savage barbarians. They had like an eons long fight going on.
This has been removed from my memory to protect its integrity.
And just everything was dumb. All the characters like Aang, Katara, Sokka were just not really being themselves. It ended with basically Aang lying to both of them to make them stop fighting. Which was not very Aang-esque.
No.
Yeah. Just everything was bad about it. During the Ember Island Players, which was the recap episode that Avatar did.
Yeah, that was the first episode of Avatar I saw, and I'm like, I'm on board.
They made a joke about like, hey look, the Great Divide. Let's pass over it. That was that acknowledgement of just that crappy episode. And so yeah, I feel like this was the Rick and Morty's Great Divide. Like, that wasn't anything. Yeah. Alright, my hero...
Hopefully the season finale will make up for it with all that extra effort that they put into it. That's worth 4 episodes.
Yeah, we didn't cover this in the thing, but...
No, we did.
We did?
Briefly.
Okay. Well, I forgot, so I'm going to remind myself. They went from 14 episodes to 10 to focus on quality or something like that.
Because they didn't want episodes like the last one.
Well, you know what? In that case, I accept. But they still made the last one.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. We'll see what happens.
So let's see that deleted content. How bad that was.
Well, if they just transfer the remaining episodes to Season 4, then that's okay. We'll just wait another year and a half.
I don't think that's what they're going to do. I think it's just like, we don't want to use dumb ideas, so we don't have any good ideas.
Well, if that's the case, then I'm okay with it. Alright, so My Hero Academia. We got a chance to see Bakugo and Midoriya versus the sadistic as fuck All Might.
Yeah, I am a villain. I don't care about crushing cities.
That was hot.
Yeah.
He just butt bunted Midoriya into a fucking bus. That was my favorite scene of the whole thing. What was that again? New Hampshire Smash, I think?
I don't know. I just don't keep track of that.
But
I'm pretty sure they don't actually mean anything. They just he makes them up as they go along.
I accept. Ah, man. We got to see some character development for Bakugo, which was nice. The more they do with him, the more I like him.
Very little.
Very little, but you know, you saw like why he is the way he is. Like, it's because he admires All Might as much as Midoriya does.
I forgot about that, actually.
Yeah, he just does it in a different way.
Yeah.
So that way, Midoriya and Bakugo are like two sides of the same coin.
His motivations are kind of shaky. It feels a little forced.
Yeah, the anime didn't do as good of a job as the manga.
Oh? Do
Yeah.
tell.
It was the same thing, just slightly differently drawn and differently paced. The anime felt like it was just kind of...
So it was the same thing, just delivery was kind of...
Yeah.
Eh.
Anime felt like it just kind of blew past it.
Okay.
Yeah, that gives you an idea of just how over-the-top powerful All Might is. Wearing those heavy-ass things and still, like, blows half the city up with a punch.
And then he's like, these are heavy.
Just completely fucking screw... Just... the way he just beat him up was just brutal. I loved it. Like, I could be soft, but no. I'm gonna pound you into the ground. And I'm gonna trap Midoriya into a thing. Then we got some character development of them working together. Bakugo finally...
Somehow.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that at all.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting kind of what happened at the start.
I see.
Like, they
Yeah.
just like, we have to... Well,
I'm glad Midoriya...
I wasn't sure if Midoriya was going to run or not. I thought that he was going to take it as like a challenge, you know, like I have to fight my, my master kind of thing to prove myself. But at the same time, like, he knows that he can't beat him in an actual fight.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it was 50-50 for that. But I knew that they weren't going to be able to work together, and they couldn't. But they managed it somehow.
I like the way Deku, he decked him in the face.
Yeah.
Bakugo. Finally, you're showing some spine. He didn't deck him in the face, he Deku'd him in the face. Yeah. I can make jokes too.
Yeah, but can you make good ones, though? I'd appreciate those more.
Knock knock.
So we also had Dragon Ball Super. Wait, did we talk about that already?
Nope.
Okay, Dragon Ball Super.
Mm-hmm. That was both really good and really bad.
Yeah.
They went bad in the sense of they went to the DBZ roots of just dragging it along. Just the whole thing with like Frieza, like standing there, like, is Frieza gonna betray him? Duh, 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 duh. What?
Oh, I didn't really get that impression.
You didn't? I was pulling my hair. I was like, okay, tension, we get it. Like, okay, that's like the sixth angle of Frieza standing there.
To be fair, I was eating while I was watching it, so we might have had different experiences.
I was fully engaged.
Yeah, okay.
Like, oh, I can't wait to see action. Oh, here we go.
And I was like, these Fruity Pebbles are so sugary.
Yep, different experience.
Watching Chinese cartoons while eating my Fruity Pebbles.
Excuse me? You filthy plebeian Chinese cartoons.
Benicula is so much better than whatever you were talking about.
You know what? If I knew how to read, I will read those and then we'll talk about it. But at least when they got to the action part,
you know, they say reading's like like riding a bike, but it's not. If you don't practice it, you lose it forever.
Reading is like going on dates. I don't do it. I try and I try, but it just hurts my head. Meanwhile, back at the plot, so Frieza being maniacal Frieza was nice and delicious. Seeing the way him and Gohan made that nice little plan.
Yeah, I like the whole fake betrayal thing. I think they made it a little too obvious about what was going on. If they didn't have like the full like 2-second like
Gohan, huh?
And then Frieza's like, and then Gohan's like, oh, I get it.
I get the plot, Frieza.
Okay, Frieza, I'll fake punch you, and while you go easy on me, and then you can betray the other guy.
And I wonder if that was Frieza's plan to make Frost trying to shoot from the sidelines like that. Because
I don't think it was necessarily a plan, but he probably knew that he would have done it because, like, they're basically clones of each other.
Mm-hmm. And Frost is just a lesser Frieza.
Yeah.
That was a fun way to get him out. Just
Forever.
Uh-huh. It's like, no cheating. Boom. Do it again and you're all gone. Oh, man. Xeno-sama.
I would have kind of liked to see him actually shoot it and Frieza just be like, hit, boom, right back into your face.
Now, this was more of an oh shit moment, at least for me. Because I was wondering what was going to happen, then when I saw that hand, like, oh god! He's gone!
Literally.
Yeah. And so, unfortunately, because everybody sucks, so this upcoming Saturday, there's no Super, but next week, there's going to be a 1 hour special, which, this is the first time Super's done that. The 1 hour special. And everyone's just been spoiling shit for me, because you all suck! But yeah. Have you been spoiled about that yet?
I don't go on any kind of Dragon Ball things, so no.
I have some Facebook likes on Dragon Ball stuff. And just like, oh man, can't wait for next week with this. Or just, this happens next week, I can't wait.
Ugh.
Guys, it's like I read it before my brain realizes what I'm reading.
Is it like the kind of Game of Thrones thing where it was like, the thing with the thing was so cool? Or is it like, here's the leak?
More like they're talking about the next episode preview and what you saw from that.
Oh.
And then
Well, I don't watch those anyway.
And someone showed a screenshot of the next episode preview, so I know something epic's gonna happen.
You mean the next episode preview that you can watch right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the problem?
I try and avoid those.
Oh. Well, I mean,
There was gonna be, like...
that's not as bad as I thought you were.
No, they gave away
Going
some pretty epic moments and things which I was going to, like... I was going to scream
Yeah,
like a little
but-
girl when it happened.
But if it's in the next episode preview, it's something that you can kind of assume that people watch, especially if they're the kind of fan who's like, you know, on boards and stuff.
You can still say spoiler, press enter 3 times, and then talk about it.
Yeah, I know where you're coming from, but spoiler culture is, you know, kind of... It's either like... People either take everything as a spoiler, like, you know, Dark Souls weapon, spoiler alert. You know, the sword is in the game, guys, you know, just spoiler.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's, you know, here's the final boss, and no spoiler tags.
Yeah, boy. Going back to Super, I'm a little bit annoyed of what they were doing with Gohan and fighting the Yaldabaoth dude. It's like, just stop it, Gohan, power up.
The teleporter guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Gohan, he could have totally beat that guy.
Easily. Why are they making him seem so weak?
I think Frieza kind of said it when he was like, do all Saiyans start really weak and then work their way up?
But that's too weak.
Yeah. I mean,
like,
he was getting beaten.
Yeah, by that.
By that nincompoop.
They gotta give Gohan something already. This entire thing has just been him getting his ass handed to him. Except the one time he saved Krillin. Ooh. That was Gohan's time to shine.
Hey guys, I stopped the roadkill.
Oh boy. What else is going on?
Can he still go Super Saiyan? I
No.
forgot.
He's now Mystic.
Oh, that's so dumb.
Which I'm hoping to give him like a new Mystic level. That'll be fun. You know,
Yeah, I doubt that they will, though.
but they hinted at it. They have to make it happen.
But they won't.
Yeah.
I'm
Alright.
just saying that to bother you.
Well, you are.
Good.
Alright.
That I've done my job.
Let's see here. I think
that's everything.
that's everything. So next week will be the last episode of this season of My Hero Academia. And it'll be no Super. Wait, is next week the final Rick and Morty as well?
Yeah.
Episode 10? Yeah, alright. So we'll have 2 season finales.
Oh boy.
And then no Super, and then the week after, an hour of Super. And I can at least say that we'll have plenty to talk about with that. Alright.
And hopefully we'll pick up a new show or two maybe.
Mm-hmm. Those fall things, they begin like this week, next week.
It's kind of sporadic.
Kind of sporadic. Yeah.
There's probably 1 or 2 that have already started.
You know what we could do?
Hmm.
Let me see. Today's 28, tonight 30. Go next. 1, 2, 3. Damn it. I was gonna say Lucifer, the new season premieres on the 3rd, but it'll be premiering after we do the thing, so yeah.
I wouldn't mind watching Lucifer.
I know, but in terms of next week,
Yeah.
the
But
Blacklist.
I could catch up to. I haven't watched it since like the middle of the 2nd season, so I could catch up in that week.
Mm-hmm. We'll figure it out. I feel like there was something else.
Yeah. Well, Surrey Children ended, so
Yeah.
there's not that.
We'll see. In the meantime, this about covers it for the second infusion, even though I've yet to drink any of it. See y'all next week.
Bye.
Every challenge along the way, with courage I will face. I will battle every day to claim my rightful place. Yeah, come with me, the time is right. There's no better team. Arm in arm, we'll win the fight. It's always been our dream. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em until I meet. I know it's my destiny. Oh, you're my best friend in a world we must defend. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em. Our hearts so true. Our courage will pull us through. You teach me and I'll teach you. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all.